welcome to the Nightbreed Metal Radio March 2024 show. I've got a whopping eight interviews for you. So let's get into it. Starting with Nithe. This is a band out of Norway that started back in 2020 and is still going strong. Their latest EP came out earlier this year, January 6th, The Night of the Ghoul, a little 4-track thing, and I really dig their sound. It's a good black thrash sound. I contacted this band directly because I was keen to have a chat, and I caught up with Stian, the drummer and one of the 4 founding members that is still there, going strong, playing their black thrash thing. This is Stian of Nithe. 2020, was a pretty awful year for a lot of people, but you guys managed to start a band. That's pretty cool. How did that all come about?
Yeah, well, it was the pandemic, but it went on fine. I live about an hour or so from the rehearsal space we had then, so it went on pretty nice. It didn't stop us from doing things quite the opposite, actually. We had a lot of free time. We could play and didn't really notice the pandemic that much, I know a lot of other bands did.
How did Norway in general go? Were there shows during that time? When were Nithe able to play your first shows?
First show we didn't play 2022, I guess, December. So we were supposed to play a gig 2022, the beginning of the year, but that didn't go exactly like it should because of transport and a lot of stuff went in our way. So it was December 2022 was our first show in Kristiansand, where we basically live.
Yeah. What's the metal scene like in Kristiansand? Are there shows at home, or do you have to kind of go further out to see metal?
No, it is a few shows in Kristiansand, but not like our kind of music. It's a lot of there are metal shows and stuff like that, but that's more in the style of prog, technical death metal, stuff like that, which I know me personally and a lot of my friends, bandmates and stuff aren't that much into. We are more into the true necro real stuff. So, but if you travel along towards Oslo, there are a bit more our type of music. There's a great scene in Oslo and that area, but we feel a lack of great metal in the southern region of Norway. We live in the middle of the Bible Belt, the super Christian holy Amen Jesus and stuff like that. We try to be a bit in the opposition to that. Try and
yeah. Cool. So the style you guys play, when you play shows in Norway, is it mostly other bands of that genre? So I'm in Perth, and most shows you'll kind of have a thrash band, a death metal band, a black metal band, that kind of thing. How's it for your shows over there?
We try to find bands that kind of match our music, cool. A bit of the same attitude and feeling. So we try to avoid we play more thrash, death thrash, if you will. So we try to avoid playing with super proggy space metal. Try to keep it a bit in the same style. It has gone pretty good. I feel like we have found bands that match our styles pretty good, and that of course is good for the audience. If I want to go and see a concert, if both bands are my style, super worth the money and stuff. But we haven't played that many shows, so yeah. But those we have played gone really good.
Yeah, that's cool. So the Cemetery Fever demo came out May 2021. How'd you guys record that? Was that like, did you go somewhere or?
No, we recorded it in our rehearsal space because it's a rehearsal space, but with studio possibilities. You can record stuff. There are mics and a PC there you can use and all that stuff. And our bassist is pretty good at recording. He studies that and stuff, so he knows his shit.
Yeah.
So we played that just in our rehearsal space, which was really nice because then we could avoid, like producers being in our way and yeah, you should do this, you should do that. Yeah, it went really good. Recorded in pretty quick as well, just like few takes.
That's cool. It's a great sound. So yeah, Night of the Ghoul came out earlier this year, January 6th. That's definitely got a different sort of production sound.
Yeah.
How did you record that one? Was it somewhere else?
No, but the recording process of Night of the Ghoul was hell. It was the same rehearsal place, but we had recorded more songs. So we basically like album length, but the hard drive just stopped. We lost all our music. Everything was like done, ready to send to the mixer, and it just vanished. So we had to record everything again, and we just decided to just let's make it an EP, just get it as quickly as possible. Even though it took a long time to get it out. I think we played and recorded the thing like around 1 year ago. We were done with the recording.
Yeah.
And there came a lot of stuff that kind of was the right word. It just took a long time to mix and master and everything. We had concerts and like a lot of stuff happening, so it took a bit time, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really, it was worth the wait.
Yeah. So the recording's got a real live sound, like the feedback on Moon Curse when it gets a bit doomy and stuff. Like, are you guys tracking separately, or how did you record?
I play the drums first with the guitar in my ear, just so I can get the feeling and just like get a lot more angry while I play, which is really important. And then we track the guitar. I don't know what we did on this Night of the Ghoul, if it was guitar or bass first. I think maybe the bass, and then guitar, and then vocals. And then we do all the other, like effects and the ambience to it. But I agree that it sounds pretty live. I don't use metronome, which is important to me because I like to, keep it alive. Just follow my own brain. Even though it might be better with metronome, it's more like a principle. I don't want to. I want the music to feel and sound like it's, passion behind it. And live, if you will. Yeah. Important to me.
Yeah, that's cool. So there's a good kind of range of styles and changes, even though it's all within the same genre. Like how Ominous Void starts as with the metal thing and then kind of slows down for the doomy sort of black metal thing. How does songwriting work with you guys? Like, is one of you making those kind of decisions, or has it come through chatting or jamming or something?
No, like our composers in the band is mainly the guitar player.
Okay, yep.
and sometimes the bass player. When you listen to stuff that is really like obscure and far out, it's probably our bassist, and the more thrashier, aggressive stuff is our guitarist. And sometimes they write stuff together, and it fits really well, in my opinion. And then we send me the riffs and stuff, and we meet and just jam, and just find out what kind of drums I should be playing. And when the song is about done, our vocalist writes off the lyrics, and so it goes pretty good. And we have played for a few years now, so it goes better the more we play. We know kind of what the other person wants to hear. If the guitar player comes with a riff, I kind of know where he wants the riff to go drum-wise, so it moves on pretty good, I think.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
The Night of the Ghoul cover image, like, what is that thing? It really grabs your attention. Where'd that come from?
Yeah. No, that is, I guess, it's called Corruptor, a friend of mine, which creates really awesome drawings and stuff. He has his own unique style, and I just asked him, listen to the songs and just draw the Night of the Ghoul, and he did an extremely cool drawing. I will probably use him a lot, to say the least. I have used him in another band I'm playing as well, Pyromania. He draws the cover for that as well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's great, man. I saw one of the band photos. The guitarist looks like the head of his guitar's on fire or something. What is it on fire? Like, what's that?
Yeah, well, that was like a bit before we released the Cemetery Fever demo, and we were like, we should go like basically to the churchyard and take band photos and just look cool as hell and evil and all that stuff. And we were really like, we should do that. And there was a party, and we had a lot of beers, too many beers, and we didn't want to go out because it was cold and stuff. So we just headed in the backyard and used the barbecue as fire and just set fire to the guitar. I don't know why. I guess we just thought that was awesome. And I mean, letting a guitar in fire is awesome. You should definitely do that, I think.
Yeah. That's good.
But it's just it was just beer. Beer got in our way, and
Cool.
that's important. Beer and metal, it's the only way.
Absolutely, mate. Good. Yeah. What was the name of the other band you were playing in again? You were just saying.
I play in a band called Pyromania.
Oh yeah.
Before we was called Wrekage, changed name to Pyromania. Play like more kind of heavy metal stuff. Venom, Merciful Fate, Sabbath, Celtic Frost, stuff like that.
Yeah. That's great.
But it's a bit the same. Like, what can I say? It's like Nithe, kind of like with the same inspirations and stuff.
Yeah.
But just taken in the more heavy metal style.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I like in Nithe, you can hear the heavy metal in there a little, but that's not the whole thing.
That's really important. It's heavy metal that we play. We should pay hails to the heavy metal gods, I think.
Yeah,
really important.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah. So what else have you been listening to lately? Other bands, like, what are you checking out?
No, well, I listen to, it's based on my daily mood. I listen a lot. Lately, I've been listening a lot to Sarcophago. And like really extreme stuff, and also the German thrash, which is must listen to everyone who likes metal. I think Infernal Overkill by Destruction, Endless Pain. Yeah, everyone should listen to those, in my humble opinion. But yeah, that's kind of like what I've been listening to.
Yeah, cool.
And also like my biggest influences, German thrash and Inri by Sarcophago. Really important albums in me, in my heart.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, awesome. So the EP's out. What's the plans for Nithe that coming up? What's coming next?
Well, we kind of want to record something as quickly as possible because we had these songs a long time trying to record them and release them, and I really look forward to getting to write just completely new music and record it as fast as possible. Maybe like a split or something.
Alright, cool.
And just play a couple of shows and see what comes out of it. Yeah, really.
Oh, cool, man.
I hope to record, as fast as possible.
That's cool. And I guess my last question: that cover image is pretty great. Is there any chance that you guys will put out some merch, some T-shirts or something?
Yeah, we have had some merch, but only at our shows and stuff. So maybe one day in the future, I hope. And it will most likely be by the same cover artist that painted the EP. Arua Gint is the name of the artist.
Oh, cool.
Highly recommend him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Stan, thanks heaps for your time, man. Thanks. And I'm really digging the EP. So yeah, looking forward to what's coming next.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks a lot, man. Cheers to Stan for joining us, and you can check out the new EP streaming everywhere you get your music. Night of the Ghoul. Oops. I was happy to have a chat with James of Gost. This is I don't really know how to explain the genre kind of band. It's very electronic, very goth, very industrial, but with tinges of metal in there. And he's on Metal Blade Records. His latest album, Prophecy, is out now. It came out on the 8th of March. And we had a chat earlier this year. Here he is. This is James and I talking Gost.
Jimmy, what's up?
How you doing, James?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. Before we jump in, it's Gost, right? Or do I say Ghost?
It's it's Gost, actually.
Okay,
sorry,
Ghost.
I've heard people say Gost for so long.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No worries. All right, I'm James from Gost. Welcome to Nightbreed. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
That's cool. I saw you guys play with Perturbator back in February 2023. It was a killer show. I think there were 2 of you on stage. Has that always been the live setup? A couple of people? Or?
It has been now for the majority of the time, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So obviously you got a new album coming out, but I'll just go back to January 2013 to start with. That's cool. Radio Macabre came out. Was that the beginning of Gost, or you sort of doing stuff before that recording?
That's the beginning for sure.
Yeah, awesome. So 11 years. That's cool, man. That's really good. Did mostly begin as a recording only project, or has there always been a live element?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to play live. I played in bands before this, so that was always the idea.
Yeah, cool. So when you're writing and recording, are you sort of thinking about how it's going to translate to a like a live audience, or is it something different?
I don't think about that during the writing. It comes about like putting the live show together is like a whole different job in itself, to be honest. Electronic music's so weird to perform live.
Yeah, it must be tricky because obviously when you're recording, it's probably like a million layers, right? Like, how do you sort of decide what are you going to play? What's a pre-record thing? Like, what's
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes there's 5 different synthesizers doing something. There's no way I could do that.
Yeah, that's cool. So you had recently had a North American tour with Catatonia, yeah, November, December. How was that? That must have been a cool show.
Yeah, it was good, man. Those guys were cool. Their audience was very accepting. So yeah, we had a great time. We did really well in merch and everything. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. And 2016, you did a collaboration with Crystal Ann on Arise. That track. How'd that come about? How'd you get together with Crystal Ann?
There's a guy that worked with her at the time who had released some of my material way before anybody else. I think he was the first label to do anything with me. It was Workstat Recordings, just kind of like a Bandcamp collective thing.
Yeah, okay, cool. And you've also done a video game soundtrack, the Text Assist, the story of Ray Bibber. How'd you get involved with doing a video game score?
I think they liked my music. I think they just reached out to me. The game was already programmed and everything, and I saw it and I was like, yeah, it's perfect. So
that's cool. Did you get much hands-on sort of stuff, or did they kind of say we want this kind of mood, or how did the writing kind of work for that?
No, they were like the best gaming company I've worked with. They just let me do what I wanted to do. Everything came out exactly how I wanted to do it. So
yeah, cool. Beautiful, man. So away from Gost just for a little bit, what are you listening to these days? What are you checking out?
Honestly, I've been listening to Street Sex lately, which I don't think he's released anything in a few years, but I've been listening to his latest album a lot lately. I think if there's anything more recent, I don't know, man. That and I've just been kind of listening to old stuff. I'm always listening to like Sisters of Mercy, Typo, that kind of stuff. But yeah, Street Sex. I listened to a bit of the new Ministry. It's pretty decent. I'm trying to think if there's any new metal I've been listening to. I don't know, man. I've been kind of not listening to music much lately, to be honest.
Yeah.
I go through phases with it, or I get kind of burned out.
Yeah. So you got the new single, Widow Song. How do you choose which track you want to put out first? Like, is there something you're sort of looking for, a mix of styles or something like that you want to kind of show everyone before the rest of it?
I mean, definitely with this album, I wanted to do Prophecy first, so you get the idea that it's going to be more of an instrumental record as a whole. And then I brought Widow Song in second because it does have vocals, so it's just kind of a little roundabout peek at how things are going to sound.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, March 8th, Prophecy, the album comes out, Metal Blade Records. That's cool. You have a very good company there, man.
Yeah, super stoked, man. That's like, childhood dream stuff. I used to listen to Metal Blade album artists, in my early, I guess my formidable years. That's all I listened to, all the early Metal Blade stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. Are we going to hear any more tracks or singles before the album's out? Is there any plans to drop another one?
No, I think the next single will be a focus track on the day of release.
All right, nice.
It's got a little video with it.
Yeah, cool, awesome. And so what else you got planned for Gost coming up? Obviously, the album's out. Is there shows on the back of that one as well?
Yeah, I'm doing a few like kind of one-offs here and there around the release, and then really start touring later in the year. Everything's kind of busy right now, so I'm having to book like 8 months out, unfortunately. So Definitely Europe, I think definitely, and then a full US run. Unfortunately, I'm sure you're used to artists like Australia. I think it's like once every like 3 years or something like that. Yeah. So it'll be a while, but I can't wait to come back, man. I love Australia. Probably the most fun I've had on tour in a long time on that Australian tour.
Good to hear, man. Cool. And last question, 11 years on, how do you think Gost has changed since the beginning? Like, do you think your writing or recording has changed much?
Yeah, for sure. It was much more simple in the beginning. The vision was easier. Now every time I write, it's always either stay the same or try to figure out ways to kind of manipulate what I've already done so that it keeps me interested as well as people who are listening. So it's definitely harder to write now because it's easy to just go back into things I've done. And the more I do the same thing over and over, the more it kind of drives me crazy. So each album definitely gets more difficult.
Yeah, cool, man. Awesome. Well, look, even if it is in 3 years, hopefully we'll see you my way again, man. Thanks a lot,
Hell yeah,
James. Have a good one, man.
Take care.
Yeah, cheers. If you like your music dark, check out Gost, Gost, streaming everywhere. Persefone is a band out of Andorra. They're like a prog melodic death metal band. They've been around since 2001, going strong. And I chatted with Bobby. We had a really good chat. We get into talking about He-Man, all kinds of stuff. So here he is. This is Bobby of Persefone.
Hello, Ben. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing, Bobby?
All good. And yeah, it's late there, right?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's almost 6 o'clock, so the sun's still up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Thought
cool.
it was later.
Yeah, no, it's all good. What time is it for you at the moment?
It's like almost 11 a.m.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Nice.
So you're in Andorra, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I have no idea. What's the metal scene like in Andorra? Like, do you have to go to Spain or France for shows, or do bands make their way to you?
Yeah, there's actually zero metal scene here in Andorra. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a super small country in the mountains, like that lives out of tourism because it's really nice and we have the ski slopes and and before that it was like a tax-free country, so a lot of people came here to buy, but now it's like really everything is regulated and it's super small. We are like 75,000 inhabitants or something like this.
Yeah.
So it's like really hard to find a scene here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to go to Barcelona or France, or Toulouse when we want to go to a show. The closest city, like big city, is Barcelona, which is like 3-hour drive.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was going on back in 2001 that prompted Persefone to begin? Because like you were saying, there weren't many shows or anything. How did you guys all sort of kick off?
Yeah, I wasn't in the band, but I was close to the guys because, as I told you guys, it was so small, Carlos and Miguel, both guitar player and keyboard, they are from Spain actually, and they met there, and they started like a prototype of Persefone there in Spain. And so Carlos moved to Andorra, and he started to find people to start the band. And once he found a drummer and a guitar player, and he was like, "Hey, Mo and Miguel, you have to come to Andorra, there's a band here." And they started everything here. But it was nothing, actually. There was some other bands. And there's music here happening, and there's culture, obviously, but there's no metal. So they started almost everything here. Yeah.
That's cool. And
it was really hard, for them. Sorry, it was like really hard for them to start something in a place that you don't have someone to look out, to take some references to learn how to do it, and that's why I think that the band has been in the underground for that many years. Because it's like mistake, learning, mistake, learning a little bit. And then that's how the Persefone career has been made, learning and brick by brick and really, really slowly. If we compare that to other bands like, I don't know, from the UK or Australia or whatever, like Germany, they have so many bands and so many people in the music industry and everything. Here is like there's mountains, and that's it. And it's complicated.
Yeah, of course. But obviously now you've played Whack and Open Air and Brutal Assault and all these big festivals.
Yeah. Now it's like exotic, being from here, even from I don't know labels or promoters or something. It's like Andorra, It's like the band that put the Andorra to the metal map or whatever. But before that, it was like shit, We were like, hey, we are from Andorra. I was like, who are you? Just stay there. But now, grinding music, and albums and touring and festivals, and it's like now people they started to know us. Sorry to interrupt, but you have like so many cool stuff behind you that I want just to look everything. You have so many, like it's a master of the universe okay.
Yeah, lots of those.
So I have so many of those, with my brother and
cool.
I love it.
That's great. Yeah, most of those are from when I was a kid. Still the same.
Yeah, me
ones,
too, me too. I
Yeah.
have like so many of those, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, that's great. um,
Awesome.
I'm talking about Masters of the Universe. Have you watched the latest season on Netflix, the new one?
Not yet. My brother is a huge fan. I watched the first one and the two first episodes. I was like, eh. And he was like, yeah, but it's Kevin, he's doing it and everything. I was like, yeah, sure, but I don't know. I'm not super into that. But he says it's good, so I don't know. I might, that now that we are going on tour and when we play, it's like you have so much adrenaline after the shows
Yeah.
that even if you want to go straight to the bed, it's impossible to sleep.
Yeah.
At least for me, I'm like pumped and I want to do something. I might like download all the episodes and like in the bunk, like watch them. You recommend them?
Yeah, the second season especially. Yeah, the Revolution. It's really great. Yeah.
But you also think like the first one, it's like still like this, or just maybe the first ones, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't mind the first one, but the second one's much better. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I might give it a try. Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of cool references to the films and all that. That's
Nice.
good stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah, with Persefone, after you guys were playing bigger shows and stuff, do you think that affected the way you wrote your music after that? Like, were you picturing that sort of bigger audience and how they'd react?
I would lie if I said like we don't want to play to bigger fans, or fan base. Obviously, we want to have more people listening to our music. I think that it's not that playing these live festivals, but have the chance to play that much last year. We did like 80 something shows or in a year or year and a half, something like this, which is a lot for a band that do not live out of the band. So finding this balance, with work and family and the band is complicated. Because before that, we played like, I don't know, 20 shows per year maximum. We took our holidays and we did that and that's it. But since we played that much last year, I think we learn a lot from people's reaction on, playing live.
Yeah.
And I think we have introduced a lot of new elements that we hope and I think we know that they will work good live because we already felt that did work before. So it's like, okay, this is working, this is not working, I will take this, but keeping it Persefone. Obviously we're not like doing like a straight 4/4 like all the songs now. It's not that. Yeah.
If we go back to 2020, you re-recorded Truth Inside the Shades, which was originally, the first one, 2004. What made you decide to return to those songs?
Yes. So the thing is that, as I told you, when the guys released the first album, they didn't know how to do shit. It was like they did everything. They record everything in Andorra without knowing anything. They learn everything from scratch, and there's so many mistakes there. And I really thinking outside of the band, that if the guys have been from another city or country and they went to a proper studio or something, maybe a good label, maybe they would sign them or something. But we did everything with some computers in Andorra. Like, it was really, really bad. And so since it was the anniversary of the album and we have this Patreon page, we said, okay, what if we just record that, and give the album for free to them, and then we make some copies. And it was not a huge success, but it was something that we wanted to do just to thank our fan base and to have something fresh. So we re-recorded everything and we did some little changes, not that much, because at the same time we were writing Metanoia, the album that came out in 2022. So it was like 2 albums at the same time. And so the first Truth Inside the Shades, since Persefone, they didn't have a singer. So Carlos, the guitar player, was singing without zero technique. He was like just screaming, like. And in the first gig they did in Andorra, in a pub, there was like this kid screaming louder in the crowd, and he became Persefone singer after the show.
Yeah, well,
So it was Carlos like singing, and the guy was there like screaming because they did some covers, you know, like Arch Enemy or In Flames or whatever. And after that, it became the singer, but the album was already recorded, and so we wanted to re-record the album, even if it was like, I don't know, 15 years later, but with the Persephone singer. So it was like funny experience, but it took so long to do it. Like, bad idea actually. Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Metanoia came out on Napalm Records, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you got guests on that album include like Einar Solberg from the Norwegian band Leprous. How'd you get together with him?
Yeah, so also the same. I've been in the band like for 10 or 11 years now, but I know them like forever. And so when they released, they were about to release the album Spiritual Migration in 2013. They didn't have any tours aligned, and I just like was like Googling, you know, and doing some research online, and I saw that Lepros, this band, they were on the same management and booking agency, and they were about to go on tour, and I was like, dudes, why aren't you going with them, you know? And so they wrote a message to their manager, and they joined the tour. So in 2013, they already met the guys with the first album. So Lepros was touring first album or second one, and so they met because they were on tour for a month, and it was just so natural, you know, to write a message to Einar, and he accepted. It was really easy collaboration with him. He's a great singer. I mean, for one of the greatest. So even we worked with David Castillo, same producer that works with Lepro, so it was like everything like really familiar.
Yeah, oh, that's cool. So Castillo is the producer on your new release as well, hey?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Cool. So I listened to it today. Is it Lingua Ignota? Is that how I say
Yes,
it?
Lingua Ignota. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Cool. Part 1, 5 tracks out 2nd Feb. A lot of your releases are concept albums. Like, does this release have a concept or an overarching theme?
Yes, because we like to write about the same topics, you know. We are a band, I think that most people know us because our lyrics also, you know, we write about spirituality, you know, and this connection with nature and self-knowledge, and we feel comfortable writing about this. And so Lingua Ignota has a concept behind it. It means like unknown language, you know, like something that is unknown, and so we wanted to talk about this connection that every human being feels, that you're part of something greater and you cannot express with words, but you know there's something. I mean, sometimes even, I don't know, if you walk like and you have like long walk on the beach or on the mountains here, you know, you feel something, but you cannot express that with words. You know, there's something else there, and we wanted like to try to pull this thread, you know, and so after we found like the main title of the EP, we started already writing the titles of the songs, even if we didn't have any music there. And so it was like, okay, it's an unknown language. How can we express that? And we started like doing this research. But yeah, and since Danny joined the band, he was so much involved, you know, on the lyrics and everything, that it was great to have him here too.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I read that the songwriting on this one had more of a band-oriented approach. Were you all in a room together writing or sharing files?
Yeah,
Or, like, how did
yeah.
that work?
I mean, we don't jam, you know, we don't do that because we are not a jam band. I mean, it's complicated music.
Yeah.
It's not like easy to improvise weird patterns, you know. It's like not that usual. So I think it has more this band vibe, because the thing I was telling you, you know, like the life experience that we have the last year, that all the band together on stage, that the parts that were working better and learning from other bands that we were touring, like, I don't know, Obscura or Noble Viscaris or other bands. So we're learning more the band thing, not the jamming on the rehearsal place, because we don't do that. Usually it's Carlos, the guitar player, that works on a riff, and then we start building from there, and it's not all the band in a place. It's impossible, bro.
Yeah, sure. No,
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah. So how'd you get together with Daniel? Because obviously he's in another band and stuff. How do you guys get together?
Yeah, so our singer decided to quit, after maybe 20 years, and focus more on his family and his personal life, because it's as I told you, it's not easy to find this balance.
Yeah.
Even if you like it, there's some days like you are, fuck it, I mean, this is really hard. And so he asked for like some month off the band, to focus on some stuff, and we didn't want to cancel tours, so we had a friend in common from Madrid, and he said, dude, you should try Danny. He's great. He knows the band. He's such a professional. He will learn the lyrics and everything in just 1 week, do one rehearsal with him, and because maybe we couldn't even, I don't know, apply, to other singers or like, I don't know, like bigger bands or something like this, because the band is already not well known, but in a great place, but it was so easy with Danny, that for us that it was really, really, really easy to connect with him in many levels, like professionally and personally. He's such a nice guy, so really, really easy guy. So we started touring with him, waiting for our singer Mark, and we did like 1 year of touring, but the most intense year of touring. So we know each other perfectly now. And when Mark decided to step aside the band, it was super easy to welcome Danny, because we already knew him, So just like when we announced that Mark was leaving on socials, we got some messages, from people like, hey, I want to try to join your band. Or it was like, I don't know you, bro. And this guy is already my friend, and he's really good too. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Daniel's obviously still the vocalist for Eternal Storm, and they've got an album out coming up Feb 16. Have you been juggling tour dates or anything like that?
I mean, the friend that we have in common is the bass player from Eternal Storm, which is he's like one of my best friends, if not my best friend. So for me, it's so natural, to talk to them and try to organize. But Danny is also the guitar player of Eternal Storm. He's a really good musician. And Danny knows that we have a lot of things coming with Persefone, so he knows how to manage his personal calendar. He's a psychologist, and he works. He can work from home, or even he can book like some patients or something. I don't know how he says that, but even if we are on tour and he have a private room, he can do some sessions. So for him, it's like easy to find this balance between the two bands. I think Eternal Storm has a show in Madrid, like presenting the album, but that's it so far, because they are like super busy with other stuff. Like the bass player from Eternal Storm, my friend, he's also a bass player of the band Cancer, the UK like mega classic death metal band.
Yeah, I love
so. So they have a lot of shows, So they are like, he's busy with Cancer, with the band Cancer, and then and Danny is busy with Persefone.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So Persephone's got a European tour coming up over February and March. Are you hitting any places that you haven't played before on this tour?
Maybe 2 or 3 cities, but
cool.
this is like the 7th or 8th tour we do in Europe, so it's like our main territory to tour, since it's the closest we have. So I think we're doing like some cities in Germany for the first time, and maybe something new in the Netherlands too, but the other is like places that we've played before. So, but it's a headline tour, so it will be
Yeah.
different from the ones that we've done in the last 3 years. And so we are bringing our show with our lights, our crew, and I think it's gonna feel different for sure for us.
Yeah, cool.
Hmm.
Away from Persephone for a little bit, what are you listening to lately? Like old or new, whatever. What are you listening to?
Music, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't listen to much metal, honestly, right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Because since I already play, all the time, it's like I don't want to listen to double bass again in my face for 1 hour. And I teach drums in a school. So um, I, it's gonna sound weird. I don't listen to that much music outside because I work with music constantly.
Yeah.
But things I like lately, I'm opening my Spotify, okay?
Yeah, of course.
Uh, I really like the last album from this artist called Caroline Polachek, which is like a pop, super well produced album. I can stop listening to Radiohead because it's like I'm my go-to jam all the time.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then people always like recommend me music, so I have like a lot of bands here. Like I have to still listen. Lately, I've listened the one from mm, ah because we have this Patreon and Discord, and they told
Oh
me
yeah.
about and they say, listen to this and that. Oh man, they're from Australia. This band, they
Oh,
just released the album. I don't know the name right now. Caligula's Horse. I'm stupid.
yeah.
The last Caligula's Horse is
Okay.
I really like it. It
Yeah,
reminds
cool.
me a lot to Carnival,
Mm.
which I love them too, Australian band too. So yeah. And then I really like to listen to a lot of stuff because I like to learn stuff and copy ideas from other places,
Mm.
and like production stuff. So I listen to music like I was saying, like pop stuff and or even hip hop or whatever, just to learn how they do that,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
like trying to understand. And I really like Paramore also. I don't know. Yeah, I listen to. I mean, I love metal. I don't want to say I don't listen to metal, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fine.
I really like Virgin Row,
Mm.
this French screamo metal band, and they joined right. They have a new album that has to come out with Coil Guns, which is a band from Switzerland with ex-members of the band The Ocean, and I think
Oh,
that
okay.
will be really nice. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so
yeah,
that proggy kind of, yeah.
yeah. What
Yeah.
are you listening to? Let me know some stuff
Uh,
that I should
oh,
listen.
jeez. I mean, I don't know. Do you like black
You're a
metal?
drummer, bro. I just saw the drums right now. I'm stupid or what?
No, no, it's cool. Yeah.
You
I've,
were like just in front of the drums and you just did like for a second.
yeah,
Okay, bro. You have the drums here. This is and a guitar,
yeah, yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah, this is my little room here. It's all
Yeah,
squeezed
yeah,
in here.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You play in a band?
Yeah, yeah, it's a couple of things. Yeah, mostly just recording, but it's good fun, man.
Well, that's
Yeah,
awesome, bro. Let
yeah.
me know that before starting the interview.
It's cool, man.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
I
jeez.
had like my electronic drum kit here before too, but I don't have time to practice here at home.
Oh, yeah.
And since I have the electronic drum kit also in the music school, I play there. And
Yeah, that's awesome.
then I need the feel of the acoustic one, when we play with Persefone, because then I have like only one crash cymbal, and when I go to the other places, like wow, I
Oh,
have like
just,
three. This is crazy. This is
yeah,
Disneyland.
that's cool. Yeah. That's fine, man.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So bands, let me know some bands or
Oh,
something
yeah,
to
yeah, sure.
listen.
I mean, it's a black metal band. I don't know, you into that at all? Like black metal
Just
stuff?
let me know, and
Yeah,
I
sure.
will. If
I'm
they
not.
are not super, let me know first, and I
Yeah, it's
will.
cool. Yeah, yeah. Narbeleth I really like. I've been listening to them. They're out of Spain. Yeah, they've been around for a while, I think. But A Pale Crown is the new album. I really like that one. Yeah,
A pale what? Sorry.
A Pale Crown is the album. Yeah,
Okay.
the new one. That's good.
It's
Um,
the band is called Narbeleth.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, I don't know them at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, they're good. And Venomous Concept brought out an album last year I really like.
Mm.
Like Shane Embry from Napalm Death and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good fun too. Some like Killing Joke sounding stuff on it. I like it.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're into this kind of
Yeah, I like a lot of different stuff, you know.
yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I saw the Solstafir
Yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I really were into Solstafir when they like started to be like more known. You know, I didn't know them before when
Yeah.
they joined. What's the word for that? The French label, man.
Seasons of Mist, is that?
Season of Mist,
Yeah,
yeah, sorry.
yeah.
So when they started joining Season of Mist and touring, and then it's when I started learning from the band, and they're really good. And the videos they do, they are so amazing, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Actually, talking about videos, you guys put out a video, hey?
Yeah.
Like the recent one. How'd that come about? Like you got the big lights and stuff. Where is that? Was it like in a white room? Like where'd you film
It's
it?
in Andorra. It's like super weird place that I don't know what a place like this does here in Andorra because there's no market for that, you know? I mean, in Andorra, there's a lot of YouTubers and like influencers and stuff like this because they don't pay that much taxes like in Spain. So a lot of famous people and rich people, they came to live in Andorra. And so I think they built this place just for them, you know, like to shoot some videos or stuff like this. And we shoot the video there. It was even open to the public yet. And so we started playing and we put this smoke and haze machine for the video and the lights to pop out a little bit better. And the alarm started sounding, the fire alarm.
Yeah.
And it was sounding for 3 hours, like huge sound. But it was close, so we didn't know who to reach, you know. And it was like, and then the police came, and you don't see that in the video, you know.
No.
But it was like, what is happening? We only had like 8 hours to do everything.
Oh, wow.
And we spent like more than 3 just waiting, and then one of the lenses of the camera fell and broke. It was like complete disaster day, but then the video came out good. I really like the idea of the 2 walls, you know, like the drums here and then singer and stuff like this, which I think is great. And and the video was done with people from Andorra, which I always try to collaborate with people from here because thinking small and then outside, you know.
That's cool.
And yes, and today at 4 at 4 p.m. so in 5 hours we release a new video.
Oh, cool.
Video art done by our guitar player. So it's really different from everything we've done before. It's for the song The Equable. And I really like it. It's like so different. And you will see like this unknown language. We've tried to do something here, and I think the idea is great.
Yeah, excellent.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes. Yes.
So this is part 1. Are there plans for Ligua Igniter part 2? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, that was something that we came out, you know, because we wanted to do a record first. We wanted to do a long record. But since we wanted to introduce Danny, also the new singer, and we didn't want to wait like for more than 1 year because we've been like grinding a lot, you know, on stage and like trying to do a lot of stuff, and we didn't want to lose this momentum. We thought the idea of an EP was better, but we have way more ideas to say, you know, regarding the theme and Lingua Ignota and way more music. So we thought this part 1 thing was working. I don't know, it will be like a single, like part 2 and just a once, I don't know, 20-minute song. I don't really know. We can do anything. We can do an album and call it part 2 or just a song or whatever. Not focused on that right now. Probably the next release will be an album, not an EP. But let's see if this one works. I don't know. I think I have the feeling that a lot of people still don't know we are releasing new music right now, you know? Because since it's an EP, it gets less attention, you know?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Oh, it's a good sound though, man. Like, yeah, Danny fits in well with you guys, I think.
And yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, obviously Persephone's been around for over 20 years now. Where do you see Persephone in 20 years' time? Like, do you think, what kind of changes can you imagine, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I hope we don't play that complicated music because I will be old. And I cannot remember all the songs and all the parts. Like in 20 years, I will be tired as hell.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Persephone will be a thing in 20 years. It's complicated to focus in 20 years. But we will definitely be involved in music in some ways. You know, Carlos and Mo, they have this um, music company and they do music for movies and video games and so they work for that, you know, constantly. And Philippe, our guitar player, the other one has done like this video clip, and he's a great illustrator. So he does a lot of our designs and posters for other bands like the Melvins, or I don't know, a lot of he worked with a lot of bands. And I will be probably involved with something also related with music. I don't know if management stuff or booking or I don't know, festivals. You know, I like to. I'm working in a festival also in Spain called Rock Imperium. So I think that maybe we will like diversify, and we will continue to put music, obviously. But I don't know if we will be touring. I don't know in 20 years, man. I feel old already, you know.
Yeah.
For real, I mean, I'm tired as hell. I'm only 36. I cannot imagine doing this like in an underground position. If I'm touring, you know, and I have like massagist guys and you know and my own chef on tour, obviously I will tour my fucking life. But you know, sleeping in a tour bus for a month or in a van with 60 years, man, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Look, Bobby, thanks for your time, man. It's been cool to
No
chat.
problem.
And
For me, it's been amazing too. Yeah.
yeah, it's been good. Hopefully, you know, at some point, you'll make it to Australia, man. You know.
Hopefully, man. I mean, our previous manager, he's from Australia, and we had the chance to go there with Nobly Viscaris. You know.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because Tim, singer from Nobly Viscaris, was our manager like for a few years, and we had the chance to go with them on tour there. But it's so complicated to find this balance, man, with work and Persephone and the family and so we couldn't make it. But we'd love to go to Australia, man, like for real. I think it's one of the things that we want to do because we've toured in Latin America, in the States, in Canada, in Europe, in Japan, in China, and we've never been to Australia. So definitely it's in the bucket list.
Yeah. Cool, man. Awesome. Sweet.
Yes.
Cool. Well, everyone watching at home, links below. Check out the new EP. And yeah, if you're in Europe, you know, you guys will be nearby very soon, eh? Yeah.
Yes. Come see us.
Beautiful. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good one, eh?
Thank you, bro. Have a nice day, night, and
Yeah.
talk soon, okay?
Yeah. Cool, man. Thanks. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers to Bobby. It was awesome to chat. And you can check out Persefone everywhere. Links below. I also had a chat with Jay from Ingested. I talked to Jay before they came on tour to Australia, but it was good to have another chat because they've got a new album coming out April 5th, The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams. And yeah, the couple of singles that I've heard are very brutal and heavy and heavier than the stuff that came before. I think I like it. So yeah, here we are. This is Jay from Ingested on Nightbreed Metal Radio.
Oh, man. How we doing?
Good. How are you, Jay?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
Good. Yeah, we spoke about 6 months ago, right before you came over to Oz. Yeah. How were the shows, man? I mean, it was good to watch. How was that for you?
It was awesome. It was just great to finally be able to get over to Australia after being a band for 18 years. So yeah, it was great to finally get over. The shows were fantastic, which was fucking brilliant. Like that's always a great feeling. Like when you play somewhere that you never played before and the crowd reaction is so good. Like that's a really good feeling. Makes you feel like you're doing something right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. We just need to get back down there. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep that momentum going.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good to hear, man. Hopefully, you know, we'll see you sooner rather than later. Eh?
Yeah.
So the Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams, new album out April 5th through Metal Blade. What's that title about? Like, what's the sort of theme and that you guys are going for this time?
Well, Sean came up with the title. It's taken from a lyric that he wrote that's on the album. We all thought it just fit perfectly with the idea, and not necessarily the idea of the album, but like the intent behind the album. Because the best way that I can describe it is the last album that we did, Ashes Lie Still. That came from a very dark period for us as a band and us in our personal lives. Like, we were all dealing with various demons, whether that's depression, like alcohol or drug addiction, loss, like so that was a rough time. And that album, Ashes Lie Still, was kind of like a therapy session, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, like getting all that shit off your chest, like kind of get rid of all those bad feelings but putting it into something positive. Whereas the Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams, that's us out the other side of that period. That's us bigger, better, stronger than we've ever been as a band. Much happier. And with that, any chains that were holding us down in our personal lives or as a band, those chains are gone. Those chains have been broken, and we're now unleashed like a tide of death. Like, that is just gonna wash over everything.
Beautiful.
And the intent behind this album is simply to tear your fucking head from your shoulders.
Yeah,
that is the purpose of this. That we are coming with a vengeance. Like, we are 3 working class lads from fucking council estates with a massive chip on their shoulder, a point to prove, and a fuck you attitude to everyone. So that's where we're at now. Like, we're swinging for the fucking fences, and we're coming to collect heads. So
good. So yeah, the single Paragon of Purity, it's got a real beefy sound. It's good. That video, like, did you guys come up with that whole crucifixion torture sort of idea? Like, how did that all come together?
Well, I just like horror films. I love like special effects but practical effects and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I hate all that CGI shit and all that. So, like, for me, I just wanted to do something that slowly, because the end of the song has this brutal breakdown, like slam at the end. And what I wanted to do was slowly build up, like, the thought of violence until it comes to a crescendo at the very end, and then it's like proper gore and proper violence. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, if you look through the video, like, as the video goes on, I kind of get more and more fucked up. And then it gets to the end, and then it's like guts are being ripped out, eyeballs are being ripped out, tongues being torn out, and then it's just, I'm just fucking caked in fucking blood at the end. And that was basically it. I wanted the video to match that like upwards incline towards violence that the song did.
Yeah. That's
so
cool.
it's a simple video. But that was the intent behind it. I was like, I want the violence in the video to ramp up as you reach the crescendo of the song.
Yeah.
And then I can scream the lyrics at the end with all blood just pissing out my mouth and shit.
That's great. How was that, getting that? Like, the tongue bit looks amazing, man. How was that? Like, have you ever done anything like that before? You know?
No, never really done anything like that before. We've done other videos where there's been like blood and shit like that, but not like that. I mean, I've still got that tongue in a jar up there on my shelf. It's fucking like, it's in a little pickle jar, like it's ace. But yeah, like that, we'd never used like a little prop like that before, so that was cool. But yeah, it was just. I just remember all I remember from the video was like because I couldn't see because obviously I've got all this shit all over my eyes to make my eyes look as if they've been fucking torn, and I'm like I'm like tied up as well, right? And I'm like just pour blood into my mouth, just pour loads of blood, just like and the makeup person's like, how much? And I'm like, all of it. Just like, so every time I'm just like, bleh. And I just fucking puking blood everywhere. Like it was jokes. Yeah, it was really fun. I had a lot of fun doing that.
Awesome, man. That's great. So this new one, you got a couple of guest vocals as well, yeah, like Mark Hunter and Josh Middleton. Are they mates? Like, how do you get together with those guys?
Well, Josh, we've known for years, like years and years, because obviously Silosis and Ingested, we came up through the same UK scene at around the same time. So we've known each other for years. So we've always wanted Josh on a song, just because he's got a very distinctive voice. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the way that he sings is awesome. So we've always wanted that. But for us, it's we're not a band that would ever just get someone on a song just to get them on a song.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, that's not how we work. Everything has to make sense. It has to make sense for the song. So the song and the guest vocalist, they have to elevate each other. Do you know what I mean? It has to work. Like, it has to make sense. Because one of my biggest pet hates at the moment in this scene is bands that get a guest vocalist on and then just whack them on a 15-second segment at the end of the song. Because it's like, what's the point? Like, what a waste. Like, you've clear, it does nothing for the song, and you've clearly just done that to go and get some kind of clout for having that person on your song, because they're basically not on it. Do you know what I mean? But maybe it looks good in the Spotify algorithm. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe,
It's fucking bullshit. So for me, like, they're gonna be, if we get a guest vocalist, they're gonna be on the whole song. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's only in death metal and deathcore or whatever where you have this weird thing of someone jumping on for a 10-second fucking spot on a breakdown that's just been slapped at the arse end of a song. Like, if you look at fucking hip hop, or if you look in the charts or whatever, if these artists collaborating on a song, they're collaborating on a fucking song. Like, the whole thing, they're on, like, do you know what I mean? Like, what's the best example? It's like fucking, you don't get Beyonce doing a song with Shakira and then the whole song's Beyonce and then right at the end is a breakdown and Shakira sings for about 10 seconds. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Like, it's bullshit. So for us, it's like, I want them to be a part of the song, like to be a part of the whole song, but the song has to make sense for them and they have to make sense for the song. So with that, it was just a matter of time of just waiting until a song came up that we wrote that was right for Josh, and then Expect to Fail came up and we were like, this is the one. Josh will sound amazing on this. So we sent him a message saying, yo, we've got this song, we think you'll sound amazing on it. Do you fancy being a part of it? And he was like, absolutely, send it over. We sent it over. A couple of hours later, he sent it back and he'd done it. And we were like, oh, fucking hell, this is awesome. So we smashed it. And then the Mark Hunter one came about, was a bit different because Chimera's always been like a really, really, really important band for me and Sean. Like, when we were growing up, like, really important band. Impossibility of Reason still is, like, for us, top 5 metal albums of all time. It's just amazing. So Mark Hunter was always like kind of like a bucket list thing. Do you know what I mean? But one of them things that you think, it's never gonna happen. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because we don't really ask people that we don't know you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to do if they want to do guest vocals, because it's just the way that we are. We like if we don't know a person, we're not just going to ask them out of the blue. Like, and we never like had any like connections or dealings with any of the guys out of Chimera. Like, we never knew him on a personal level or anything. So we always thought it was a pipe dream. Do you know what I mean? We thought it just wasn't going to happen. And then, weirdly enough, when we were in the studio recording The Tide of Death, Sean was on Twitter and he's like, fucking hell. And I'm like, what? And he's like, Mark Hunter's just like tweeted about us or like I don't do Twitter, so I don't know what it is. Like, but either way, he like posted something about us, whether in whatever form. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Are you serious? And Sean's like, yeah. Like, what the fuck? So Sean messages him and just says like, yo, Mark, thank you so much for the kind words. Like, that honestly means the world to us. Like, we're such massive fans. You've like totally made our day, so just wanted to say thank you so much. And he's messages back and he's like, no worries guys, love the band, like thanks. Like, and we're just like, yo, that's fucking wild, that fucking hell. And then we thought nothing of it, just apart from that it was fucking cool as fuck. And then a few days later I'd finished recording the vocals for In Nothingness, and we sat there in the studio room and we're listening back to it and listening back to it and listening back to it. And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, it's just something missing. Something missing. Like, I can't put my finger on what it is. So we keep listening to it. And then we get to the hook, like the chorus bit. And I'm like, I say, just keep playing the chorus over. Just keep playing the chorus over and over again. So I'll keep listening to it. And then in my head, I can hear like Mark Hunter's like clean vocals, like singing it. And I'm just like, shit. Like, I think I know what it could be. And then I was saying to Sean, I'm like, I think Mark Hunter could sing this amazing. Like, really. Like, I think he could really, like, elevate this song to where, like, to what I can hear in my head. So then Sean's like, so just ask him then. And we're like, me and Lynn are like, well, what's the worst he can say?
Yeah, that's it.
It's not like you've never spoke to him before and you're just asking him out of the blue. Like, you've already spoke to him. He said he likes our band and stuff. Like, so just ask him. Like, do you know what I mean? He'll either say yeah or no. Like, and if he says no, then we'll figure something out. Like, do you know what I mean? And so Sean messages him and he's like, you know, we're in the studio at the moment and we've got a song that we think you'd really shine on. We were just wondering, like, long shot, I know, but like, we're just wondering, would you fancy singing on it? Like, and he's like, hell yeah, send me the song. So we were like, holy shit. So we sent it him, and then a few days later he sent it back and we were like, oh my god, like, that's it. Like, and it's exactly like what I could hear in my head. Yeah. It's so sick. Like with him, he's like Chimera, like aggressive vocals on the verse, and then like the chorus comes in and he's doing the cleans and shit, and it sounds so sick. It's so sick. And yeah, we were just buzzing because obviously for us that is a fucking huge deal. So yeah, it was that's how that came about. That one was a bit random, like, but the Josh one we always knew was going to happen. It was just a matter of finding the right song. But the Mark Hunter one was a little bit of a weird coincidence, like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it just kind of fell into place, like, which was nice.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Cool. I think we're almost out of time, but I will ask, what's the plan? Like, is there any more videos or anything coming around the album release? Yeah, we've got loads of stuff coming. So, we've just released Paragon of Purity. That response to that's been fantastic.
Video for that's available on Ingested TV, the YouTube channel. Check it out. We've got more singles coming and music videos coming in the run-up to the album release, which is April 5th.
Yeah,
Either
April 5th.
April 5th on Metal Blade. So, yeah, we've got loads of stuff in the pipeline. We've just announced a UK and European headline tour.
Nice. Yeah.
That runs through April and May of this year. So that's really exciting. We're taking Fallujah, Vulvodynia, and Melancholia out with us. So that's going to be a hell of a time. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then after that, we've got loads more plans for tours that are in the pipeline that we're not able to announce yet. But there's lots of plans for the rest of the year. Lots more music videos, loads of stuff. I mean, like we never stop. Like we're just this like we've just got this mad work ethic where we just grind all the time. Like we just because we love the game. Like, do you know what I mean? We love what we do, so we just never stop. We're always writing stuff. We're always creating stuff. We're always playing shows. We're always doing something. Like, so we're just a whirlwind of activity. So it's going to be another busy year for Ingested, which is like super exciting. Like, hopefully we get to get all over the world to all of our fans, and get to play some shows for all our good buddies around the world, like that, because that's what it's all about, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like this is why we do it, is because we love playing live shows. Like we love making music, and then we love playing that music in front of all of our fans everywhere. Like, so it's good. It's going to be another busy year. It's going to be another exciting year. So I'm just happy to be along for the ride.
No, that's great, man. Cool. Awesome, Jay. Thanks heaps for your time. Good to chat again, man. And hopefully it won't be too long before you make it down here, man. We'll come back.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that we'll be back down under sooner rather than later. But thanks for having me on again. It's been nice to chat with you again.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. So hope you enjoy the album, and hopefully I'll see you at a show soon.
Yeah, beautiful, man. Have a good one.
All right, safe. Cheers.
Next, I chatted with Lawrence Hewson from the Melbourne band Sordid Ordeal. If you're familiar, Lawrence had a bit of media attention Christmas last year because he's the voice of Flinders Station. And we talk about that and their music, what's going on. Here he is. This is Sordid Ordeal on Nightbreed Metal Radio.
Sensational. How are you?
Good, man. How you going?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. 2 seconds. Oh, sorry, man. Do you need this room? All right. Yeah, let me just turn this fan off because it's too fucking loud.
Yeah, no stress, man.
Sorry, I just finished work, and so I'm literally doing the interview in a computer room at Flinders Street Station.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Oh, well, we may as well start there, I guess, man. If that's cool. So, welcome to the show, Lawrence. Good to have you on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, obviously, new album and stuff, but seeing as you're at work, how long you been, working at Flinders Street Station?
So I've been working here for it's about 5 months now. It is.
Yeah. And so obviously, everything blew up. People can Google it. With your cool messages out to the public and stuff. Is that something you've been doing from day one?
Yeah, pretty much. When you've spent more than half your life in front of a microphone, you just kind of take to it like fish to water. So I remember that the first day that the trainer took us from the Metro Academy out to Flinders Station to do the trainee announcing, I was just sitting there trembling, like, give me the mic, like, watch this, and I'm with like 9 other people who have never touched a microphone in their lives, definitely never heard their own voice come like thrashing back at them from anything. So this is all like home territory to me. So the second he handed it to me, I just dropped into DJ Dickhead, just like, good afternoon and welcome to Flinders Street Station. Like, they thought it was hilarious. It's home turf for me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Sordid Ordeal. So 2010 was the first release, right? What brought you guys all together back then?
It was not. I'm the only surviving member of the band. Surviving, like everyone died. I'm the only I'm the only founding member of the band left. So when Sordid Ordeal started, me and another songwriter got together and started a band together, and we both had very distinctly different songwriting styles, and we were both willing to be in each other's bands to. Because it was kind of slim pickings where we were at the time. We weren't exactly spoiled for choice. And we liked each other, so we wanted to work together. And then it didn't take long for us to figure out that it just wasn't working. It kind of needed to be one style or the other. So it was interesting. He said that he wanted to break the project up, but then he took every member of the band and gave it a new name. And I was the only one who wasn't invited back. I went, oh, okay, I see what happened here. And it took me a couple of months to sort of recover from that. I would say it took me a couple of months to recover from it emotionally. But, you know, when, like, we'd only been together a few months and we'd been jamming and building stuff together. And that was, like, a really formative experience at the age of, 19, 20. So when I put together the idea for my own band, I invited him back as the drummer. So he played drums in my band, but our bands supported each other for a while. And then I played bass in another band, and because he couldn't find a bass player, and so that the singer of that band played bass in my band. So it was this weird little enclave where, you know how these things happen all the time. When you're in an area where you're kind of starved for tons of personnel, but the ones who are there are all intensely creative. Like I remember years ago, I interviewed Tom Lincoln from The Nation Blue, and he said that's what the Hobart music scene was like in the 90s. He said it was 100 people, all members of about 500 bands. And so it was a bit like that. We all helped each other out because we didn't have tons of people around and made it work.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. So how does songwriting work with Sordid Ordeal? Like, as it is now, you know?
It's a bit of a... I'm the main writer at the moment. The problem is, like, I wrote these songs that I've always felt needed their time. They needed their time in the light. They needed to produce properly. And over the years, like, I've had some pretty incredible members of Sordid Ordeal, and there's been different lineup changes over the years. And I've got, like a drive full of, like, jams from different, lineups over the years, and things that could have been really amazing projects and really amazing albums, but the lineup didn't last long enough for us to get that stuff out. And the stuff that we're releasing now is the stuff that's kind of been ready to go for a long time. It was never produced as well as it is now. Like, this is the one, the way it sounds now is the way it should have always sounded from the beginning. And I'm glad that we found our voice. Just along the way, there were some casualties, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, talking about big sound, like tracks like Trinity Tirade and Mishka, you got all this extra, accompaniment going on. Are these musos that you knew already? Like, how'd you get all these other people on board with it?
Some of them are. For others, I put the call out. So at the time that we recorded it, the drummer was also a good arranger. He's not the drummer anymore, but at the time, I spent a lot of time, listening to Meatloaf and Springsteen and just like stuff with big arrangements in it. Also a bit of like pop country stuff from the 60s, like Glenn Campbell, Neil Diamond, John Denver, like cool songwriting, but just these amazing, like intricate sort of orchestrated, parts in it. And every now and then, like, I'll hear a metal band that do that really well. Like, I mean, I used to be really into, God, I can't remember their name. It's going to do my head in. Anyway, Nightwish, for instance. Like, this really orchestrated melodic kind of thing. Like, it's heavy, but it also, like, strings and choirs. I love epic bullshit. I mean, I was raised as a classically trained pianist as a teenager, so I just love big orchestration and fucking Rachmaninoff and Beethoven and garbage. So, even pop music and rock music that had that kind of arrangement, I was drawn to it. So the drummer at the time, he arranged all of the parts, and then in some cases we just put the public call out, like, does anyone want to come and play on this record? And then in other cases they were headhunted. Like in the Celtic parts in Mishka, we knew Cato Gotham already. Now, she's a permanent member of Sordid now, but she wasn't back then. So she and her partner Sam, who's an uilleann pipe player, came in to do a session because we specifically asked them. It some of them were headhunted, but others were just like, put the call out, see what kind of response we get. I've got to tell you, like, it really is quite funny how you know how, like, you've known this muso for years. He's always played bass in bands. He's played bass in about 7 or 8 different bands. And then you put the call out for violin and viola players, and he writes back one afternoon. He's like, "Oh, hey, I'd love to come in and, record your session. Do you want me on violin or viola?" And I'm just sitting there going, I had no idea you played a bowed instrument, for fuck's sake. I've only ever seen you thrash a P-bass to pieces in punk bands and metal bands. Like, I've never had a reason to know that you played violin. And there was a beauty in that. I fucking love that. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you ever had a chance to play any of those songs live with any of the accompanying things?
No, not on that scale. Now that the violinists Kat and Ella are permanent members of Sordid, we do have 2 violins on stage all the time. But we had some pretty grand plans for the album launch for Saturday, and then because we went on a tour quite late last year, we ran out of time to really build in the big production stuff we wanted to do for the album launch. And because this album is part 1 of a 2-album release plan, it's part of the same storyline, it's part of the same double concept album. I think the album release of album 2, we will have the whole string section come in, the whole 12-piece choir, the whole Irish, the whole Celtic band come in and do it there, but not until we'll do this launch as a bit more stripped back, but then in the future, like, definitely have plans to do a massive The Whitlam style, get the MSO in kind of thing.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's cool. So yeah, the concept album, it's semi-autobiographical, yeah?
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's that classic story of like I think like tens of thousands of people across Australia have that classic story of growing up in a rural area, and then moving to the city either for uni or to get work or to, specifically target getting into theatre or music or something like that. It's like this weird, like, rural kid rite of passage. So this is that. And it's very specifically my experience. But, there's a lot of like expat country kids who hear the story and they go, fuck, man, that was me in 1989. I moved to Melbourne as an 18-year-old, and then I, meet kids in recent years who are like, yeah, that was me in 2009. Like when I first moved to Melbourne, I was like, didn't know what was going on. So I feel like there's this relationship between, people who have gone through that same similar experience, and I think that this album speaks to that experience.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And so part 2, is that going to be like a different kind of feel, or is it, you know what I mean? Like, what's the idea?
It's very much a continuation of part 1. The only thing is, like, when I first envisioned releasing this album, we were going to do it on CD, and like no one's really producing CDs anymore, and obviously like the playtime of a CD is roughly 80 minutes, and I think all of these songs would have fitted on that. But then in the last couple of years, I was like, fuck, I really want to do vinyl, and like, you look at like bands who are lucky enough to catch the end of vinyl, even like Slayer and Metallica released their first, records out on vinyl or tape, and I was like, I really want to like feel that warmth. I really want to like, you know that you've only got 44 minutes to play with, so you really meticulously pick your songs. And then I was like, I want to have that rite of passage that musos before me had, where you hold this big fucking thing and you're like, this is it. This is us on vinyl. And then obviously we couldn't fit all the songs on there, so we sort of split it in half in a way that the storyline of the concept album flows on. Oh, yeah. So it'll feel like a continuation of the first album, but the last two tracks, well, side B of album 2, that will be 2 tracks long, and they're epic, absolutely enormous tracks. So
yeah, sweet, man. Is there any inspiration for concept albums for you? Like, are there other bands that you've gone, yeah?
100%. Yeah. No, I love bullshit like that. I love overproduced, big production bullshit. Like, I've been hammered by punk musos who are like, what are you fucking listening to Pink Floyd for? But yeah, like, I love The Wall. I love that flow on, like, storyline, or, even later stuff. Like, I was sort of coming of age at the time that, Green Day had released American Idiot and My Chemical Romance had released The Black Parade. But, like, even going back to vintage shit, like, The Who releasing Tommy or Quadrophenia, I was just like, fucking, like it's just huge orchestration and like these characters who come in and you sort of become familiar with them and stuff. And there was another good one from, like even Bat Out of Hell, like, they described that as like a rock opera. They were some of the inspiration surrounding that.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. I saw you did like a Melbourne chili eating contest video. Are you part of the? Are you going to be in the contest? Like, are you a chili eating?
They asked me to host that, but I'm hosting Spring Ditch Festival in Beechworth that week, so I can't host it. But I am not unfamiliar to the chili world. So they reached out and asked me whether I at least wanted to do a promo for them, which I 100% did. But I also didn't realize they had made their own fucking sauce, and it was awesome. So we walked, what the part you haven't seen yet is that we walked around the street getting people to try it, just out on Sydney Road in Brunswick and Lygon Street. So the night that we shot all this material, obviously you've seen part 1. I haven't even seen what part 2 is, but I'm pretty sure part 2 will be it'll be going around and getting people to try it. And when we did it, it was on Valentine's Day. So it was like, I think we had the potential to really fuck up some people's dates, which I find fucking hilarious.
That's great, man. bunch of dudes want to be like, I can eat it. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And then fall apart in front of their boyfriends and girlfriends. And it's just like, put spoon down, man. You're not Homer.
That's great. Yeah. Cool. So the album's out and you got the launch this weekend. Yeah, is that right?
That's it. Launch is happening on Saturday. Main support is The Currency, who are like my favorite folk punk band of, in Australia. Actually, of all time, because we've got that deeper seated connection to it, because they're singing about, domestic stuff here from where we're from. Like, I love my Dropkick Murphys and I love Flogging Molly, but, and the Tossers, but they're singing a lot about Los Angeles, Chicago and Boston. But The Currency, like, have that Melbourne and Sydney connection. And so that songwriting really comes through. And then Cato Gotham's other band, the Ramshackle Army, who have been around for donkeys, are playing with us. Echo Social Club. And Purple Pingers from Shit Rentals is playing with us too. So we've got 2 poets, Hannah Kingston and Holly Hughes. I've been running the Drunken Poet Open Mic Night here in Melbourne for the last 8 years. And I can honestly say that in 8 years, they are 2 of the most mind-blowingly good poets that I've seen, like funny and engaging. Like, you like those poets that come in and they want to waffle on about their last 3 relationships and how miserable they feel. These 2 girls are just fucking firecrackers, and you sit there laughing, but it hits you in a deep way, almost like the way that BoJack has that complexity of like the way it hits you. So it's going to be a hell of a show on Saturday. Big show.
Yeah, awesome, man. And obviously the album, the show. What's next for you guys? Like, is there any more videos planned?
Yeah, we're supporting the Gost set for their 20th anniversary, but we will spend most of March breaking in a new drummer. So I had a drink with her a couple of weeks ago. She's gone to Canada to play a few shows. I can't release her name yet. She's not locked in until she's at least had a jam session with the band, but I'm feeling pretty promising about this. So she'll get back at the end of Feb. We'll probably spend most of March doing rehearsals and getting them familiar with the material. And then by April, hopefully that'll be the first show that we do with her with the Go set. Otherwise, she'll do it as a session muso and we'll keep looking for someone permanent. And then, I really want to hit the trail in Australia as much as we can in the lead up to November and December. I'd like to play a couple of, a couple of community festivals and get around the country a bit. But I also just want to revisit some of the capitals again. I want to do Sydney, Newcastle, Brisbane, just like start to really solidify that, kilometers under the wheels kind of thing. Do it the way that, the Oils used to do it back in the day, like just, driving the roads, meeting the people.
Yeah, nice, man. Awesome. Well, it sounds like you got a cool year ahead, man. Have a good time, mate. Thanks for your time, man. It's been good.
Thank you so much for talking to me. Have a great night. It's lovely to meet you.
I spoke to Titan from the great power metal band Hammer King. These guys are really fun. It's good, heavy, jolly stuff. And their last couple have a bit of a darker sound, but it still has that fun, pumpy power metal thing going on. And they have a new album that came out just yesterday on the 22nd of March, König und Kaiser. And I talked to Titan about it and touring a whole bunch of other stuff. Here he is. This is Hammer King. Hey, man. How you doing?
Good seeing you. How are you?
Yeah, good, Titan, good. We spoke a while back now, 2022, around when Kingdomonium came out, an awesome album.
I remember.
Oh, cool. How'd those songs go live? Like, were there any tracks on that sort of hit differently when they were on the stage?
Strangely, yes. Usually our albums are always albums that you can definitely guess the way they will work on stage, and Kingdomonium is the only album that is different. We had, and I know musicians don't say that usually, but we totally had problems playing the title track, which is sad because we love the song very much. We tried it and it never really worked. It seems like you need the entire production with all the choirs and everything needs to sound exactly the way it is on the as on the album. And once you did it live, the song was okay, but it didn't really function properly. And in comparison, if you think of Pariah as My Name or Invisible King, these things work on stage like nothing. So that's completely different. And especially Invisible King has turned out to be a total different beast. Sometimes there are songs that change when you do them more often. And Invisible King is quite different now than on the album version. It really works. So it was a diverse album for our world. And I think the new one is more like an album where you definitely know that the songs will absolutely work when you do them on stage.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, tell me if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Koenig and Kaiser? Kaiser? Is that...
No, you did well. König und Kaiser.
Okay.
Or you can also say König und Kaiser. That's also possible.
Okay. All right.
Both is okay. And the cool thing about König and Kaiser is that everybody from all the countries I spoke with, there was only 2 people who mispronounced it, and everybody is spot on. Why on earth can they speak German? I don't know. Yeah.
That's good to hear. So what is that in relation to those names, those words?
I mean, the interesting thing is whenever you ask a good question like this, mostly the answer is sort of boring, because usually the answer is, my answer is always, well, we did not plan this, it just happened. And actually when we worked on a piece of music which went by the working title of Infinite King, and it was strange because it was either too slow or too fast for our normal songs. So in the end, when we tried to find the chorus was either too slow or way too happy. So it took us quite some effort to get into a proper chorus. And I remember driving down the highway, the Autobahn, to the rehearsal room, and suddenly there was this melody, which really seemed to work. And I tried to remember until I was there, which was further, maybe 10 or 15 minutes to go. So I sang it to myself over and over again. And for Christ's sake, I used German words, which I never do. I always use English words whenever I write. This time it was German. I went to the rehearsal room and I put it on the demo, and the drummer Dolph, he would be the one to join me this day for the writing sessions. And he would come, and I told him, Dolph, I think I got the idea for Infinite King, but you can kill me or not, but it's German. I don't know why. And I played the thing to him, and he said, you know what, I think you should just keep it the way it is, because it sounds interesting for whatever reason. And then we had bits and pieces, and it didn't make sense at first, because the song ended basically saying this country needs him, Infinite King. The first part being German, the second being English, which didn't work at all. And he smiled and he said, you know, I mean, there is a king this country could need, and that probably would be the Hammer King. And I smiled and I said, okay, why on earth didn't I think of that? So it became a song that sort of entertained ourselves. And in the middle of the song, there was the German word Kaiser. And he said, in history, there have been people who were king and emperor at the same time, which I had never heard of before. And so he said, why don't you just sing König und Kaiser and put them both in? And I mean, when you're a German language speaker, words like König und Kaiser, king and emperor, they are so classic. It's so classic, you just want to keep that. And so it was written by itself, basically, and we had König und Kaiser. And the good thing was that we planned on having the Tribune from the War Kings as a guest performer on that song right from the beginning. And then it became interesting because we are Hammer King, they are War Kings, so you have like two kings on the same song, and you can ask yourself, who is king, who is emperor here? And that's exactly what we did with the video, which will be out in 2 weeks, I think. Wow. So we have it, and we play around with this not knowing who is who in that song.
Wow, that's excellent. Cool. Yeah, talking the videos, the Hated by the Hammer video, where is that? That's a great setting, you know, the rocks and everything.
That's an absolutely funny story. We have this, I don't know what the English word is for the place where you basically take rocks from rock pieces from a mountain. What's that called? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, that's okay. I know what you mean. That's okay. Yeah.
In German. Yeah. So you went to this place. We did a video before at this place. It was Atlantis from 2021, but we took a different angle in that whole place. It's quite huge. And I swear there's never been any change in that place for maybe 30 years. We went there, we checked it, we decided where we would set up the camera, and we came back 4 days later, and there was this gigantic machine looking like a tank where you can take pieces of rock from and turn them into very small pieces. And we said it's impossible that they pick up work now at this place. And we started filming the drums, and this gigantic thing, and it's like 50 meters long and at least 7 meters high, and it moved directly in the middle of the whole scene, and he stopped it there and he went home. So we had to film around this fucking thing for the entire 2 days, which by the way was absolutely interesting because it was I think 4 degrees Celsius below zero, and we had to shoot for 2 days with only short sleeves and nothing underneath. So that was horrible as well. And believe it or not, we went there for some additional short photos that we did. We wanted to have them at the same place. And when we returned 2 weeks later, basically 1/3 of all the wonderful rock formations were destroyed. So we basically had the very, very last day that it looked the way it is, because it looks like a bit like on another planet, and now it's completely empty. So they destroyed everything after 30 years of limbo. Yeah, well, long story short, we were lucky enough to be there at the 11th hour practically, and the good thing is you don't need a permission, and you don't have to pay because it's an open place. So, and nobody goes there because it's on top of the mountain. So,
yeah, cool. I think I remember that the word too, quarry. The quarry, I think that's what we're talking about.
That could be. Yeah, that could be.
So the other video, The Devil Will I Do, it looks like maybe you're enjoying some communion wine, I assume, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. That is, as always, what always happens with us is coincidence. So we remembered that we did Awaken the Thunder also in 2021. We shot it on a local castle. And we remembered the guy who, he doesn't own the castle, but he does the day-to-day businesses. And this guy is super, super helpful, very friendly. And we contacted him and said, Andreas, we would probably need your castle for another video. Oh, it's no problem. What day? And we told him the days. He said, I'm not here there, but I will give you the key. Do whatever you want. And I mean, it's a great place, big place. So we went there and we shot for 2 days straight. We used the tower mainly for the indoors scenes. We had another sort of classic room that we used for some additional scenes. And there was this small, I think it is a church, but it feels more like a chapel. And I asked him, can we use the chapel as well? And he said, well, it's a different thing. It doesn't belong to the castle, but I can give you the number of the lady. And I called that old lady, and she said, yeah, you can use that. I don't think that she knew what we wanted to have it for, but she gave us her words. So we went there, but she stayed there at the same time, which was interesting because I was standing upon the altar singing something with the devil. Gladly, I think she didn't speak English. And then they set up all these Christmas pieces already because it was in December. So we kept this thing that looks like, I always said it looks like communion. So we kept to make sure that everybody gets that it's a church. And we had the fork machine and we put fork into the church. And gladly she was okay with it. I don't know why. But speaking of the fork, this weekend had another interesting thing to happen when we used the fog machine inside of the castle. We asked whether the fire things, the alarm things on the ceiling, whether they are connected with a firehouse. No, they are not. That's what they said. But they didn't know that 4 days ago they had been connected with a firehouse. So, of course, we shot a scene. It looks killer, where the two guys are holding the hammer against the light. And you could already hear the sirens in the background. And when they think that there's a fire on a castle, they don't come with one truck, they come with 6. And they bring the gigantic ladder because they cannot go over the walls. And in Germany, if you provoke the firehouse, and it's not for a reason, you have to pay it yourself. And if they come up with 6 trucks, that might be around 10,000 euros. So we were absolutely shit scared about that. But being on the countryside, there was one guy who knew the guys from the firehouse, and so they declared it an exercise, and we didn't have to pay because otherwise we would be absolutely broke now. So that was quite a weekend.
Yeah, wow. So last time we spoke, you were saying when you listen to music, you like kind of grabbing an entire discography and sort of sinking into it. Are you listening to any discographies at the moment?
Actually, truly, I finished 2 days ago because I took the opportunity of the new Saxon album, Hellfire and Damnation, to play all of Saxon in chronological order again. And as before, it is very, very impressive. I mean, how many studio albums have they got? Like 24, I think? Yeah. 2 covers albums and 2 remake albums and whatever. I skipped all the live albums, otherwise I would be playing until Easter probably. And there is not one single weak album in the entire discography. I mean, there's albums that you probably might not think of as perfect albums, of course, but not really a weak album, and the new one is stellar. So it's quite. If we ever get to be like Saxon, and I'm still around when I'm 73, and I can say we have never made a really weak album. So that is the biggest thing you can achieve as a musician.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, talking about that, Hammer King's coming up to 10 years next year. The lineups remain, pretty much the same across that time. How's Hammer King changed in that time, do you think? The way you kind of, write and go about things?
I might say this might be my favorite questions of the entire interview campaign so far. Interestingly, we have not changed much when it comes to the lineup. That's right. I mean, we basically have a bassist change. We're not counting that guy in between. We're only talking about the real bassist that we had, so it's 2, not 3. And at the same time, the rest of around the band and inside the band basically has changed pretty much. I think quite a lot. I mean, when you listen to the first album, that was a relatively tame and relatively classic metal album, and now within the last 3 releases we've really spiced up things quite drastically. I mean, a song like Hailed by the Hammer is musically it's almost a Nevermore song, while vocally of course it's typical Hammer King stuff, but the entire working routine has completely changed. With this album, for the first time, we have basically stopped being 4 people at the same time, because we had, as always, not that much time to do an album. We were asked maybe in June whether we can have an album for March. That sounds like lots of time, but basically it means that you have to hit the studio 3 months later. So we worked in groups of 2. Groups of 3, and very rarely in groups in the group of 4 people that the band is, and I think that has made things very much quicker, really, because I mean, when you're 2 people, you don't discuss as much as when you're 4, and basically the result is the same anyway. So why a discussion anyway? And I think there is the tempo of doing things has increased, of course. Whenever there is industry behind and there is public interest, gladly there is public interest, you have to be much quicker than before, which means you can't work as young people do. They discuss and they feel romantic about anything. So you basically, you need a timetable. You need 1 or 2 persons that make sure that you keep it, and the rest has to be decided. And I must say, for me, it's I've always been the logical center point of the 4 people, but which doesn't mean that I'm more important than the others. It just means that whatever happens, everybody speaks with me. And therefore, I mean, for me, it's a gigantic relief, because it's been so much talking in the early days where everybody needed to know everything, and now so many things happen at the same time. It's impossible that everybody knows anything. So basically, as long as I know everything, and as long as there is people in the band who take responsibility for a part, I mean, like the bass player Gund, for example, when it comes to the upcoming tour, he is the one who talks to the other guys when it comes to technical issues, the other bands on the tour. I would not like to do this, and I don't have the time. And as long as he does, and he tells me what they agreed upon, I'm fine. I don't need to know anymore. And when it comes to promo, there's somebody else who's taking care. So I think this is what has changed. Not everybody knows about everything at the same time, and we have split work, and yeah. So the whole routine is totally different compared to back in the day, and I must say it works so much better.
That's cool. And where do you see Hammer King in 10, 11 years? So 2035, your 20-year birthday. What do you think is going to be going on then?
Well, I mean, 2035 is really that's a number, isn't it? I mean, we're not talking about my age when it's 2035, because that's going to be drastic. But I think, I mean, who can tell the future? But it looks very promising at the moment, and I know that our mindset is to use this occasion, this opportunity that we are given to be on tour with Wrekage, and I mean that is a tour that will grant us 14 shows, and at least half of them are sold out or very close to being sold out. So we are playing in front of thousands of people, and Wrekage is basically the same sort of band than Hammer King, so we will be able to present ourselves in front of exactly the right audience, and we will absolutely use every second of that tour. There is not one thing that we will not cherish, there is not one thing that we will not give our all and everything into. So I think if the world is at least, if the rock and roll world is a good place, we might be a bigger band after this tour, and we have signed with Extra Tours, which is a very good booking agency in Central Europe. So they should give us good shows for the future. They have already started giving us good shows, better shows than ever before, bigger shows, more money, of course, which is very important. When you invest that much money as we have, you need some income to be able to continue. Otherwise, you're belly up in a couple of years. And we've invested lots of work and quite some money into the band, because we believe that this is a good thing. And so basically, I think in 10 years we should be a band that many people know, and probably a band that play their asses off. And I hope we're on all the festivals all the time, and I hope we're not only in Germany and Central Europe, but I hope we're happening everywhere. That would be the wish and the desire. And I mean, we would like to play Down Under, we would play the United States, we would like to play Scandinavia, whatsoever. I mean, I think I have like 6 or 7 interviews only from Poland this time, and so there is a desire to play Poland, which is not far away, but we have never played Poland. We will play France for the first time ever, and it's only 1 hour away from here. But it takes time to get to places, to connect and network with people. So in 10 years, I hope everything is done and we can be like Saxon, play all the time. That would be my personal wish.
Yeah, fantastic, man. Well, look, March 22nd's coming up. I definitely am keen to hear the rest of the album. The 2 singles, like it still sounds like Hammer King, but there's definitely like a dark sort of vibe, especially with the solos, a bit minor sounding maybe. Is that kind of throughout, or is that only some of the tracks?
I think it's not on all of the songs. I think we have, with König und Kaiser, I think we have a quite colorful album, actually. So we have very spicy, very heavy and dark songs. When you will hear König und Kaiser in 14 Days, that's a total different thing. It's not happy, but it's anthemic, and it's sort of lighthearted at the same time. and there's a horn section on the album to make it sound like the Monty Python movie Life of Brian in a way, when Pilot is speaking in front of the masses. So we're having a colorful album here. There's positive songs, there's dark songs. I mean, what we wanted to have is an album, while King Demonium is pretty much a solid statement into one direction. It's a dark album, it is like a juggernaut. We wanted to have an album that combines that with the more lighthearted approach that the 2021 album had, where everything was more open and more lightful. So I think we have both on this album this time, and for us it's tricky. We have 10 songs on the album, and basically we would like to play at least 7 of them. With King Demonium it were 3, so this time it's a quite intriguing album.
No, that's great, man. Well, look, I'm sure the European tour will be a hit. You know, it sounds like it's already there anyway. You're just going to do it now. That's fantastic. Yeah, and look, best of luck, man. Sorry.
Thank you very much. I mean, with all due respect, it's not because of us, it's because of the Walkings, of course. They attract the people, but I mean, we will do our best to win over as many of them as possible, and we will be at the merchandise stand all night. So it's not that I've heard from other bands on tours lately who play, they show up for 5 minutes and then they go backstage drinking beer. I mean, we will not be drinking beer backstage. If anyone wants to drink beer, he has to drink at the merchandise stand, because I know that when a band is present, and we are very much into connecting with people, and during the COVID years we've learned to cherish this even more when you could not connect with people. So we will be there all the time. As long as none is really sick, we will be there all the time. So I'm absolutely looking forward to this tour, and it should be very good for us.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Look, Clayton, it's been awesome to chat again. Thanks heaps for your time, and yeah, hopefully eventually we'll get to see you down my way, man.
I will not say no. I will be the first to agree. Absolutely. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure reconnecting with you, and I totally love the way you got your room behind you.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Cool. Awesome, man. Have a good one, eh? Thank you.
Thank you, and see you in 1.5 years.
Last but not least, I had a chat with Dave of Aussie band Flaming Wrekage. They've got a new single out now, Ghosts, with a pretty great video that we talk about. And their new album is out April 26th, Terra Inferna. So yeah, Dave and I talk about what they've been up to, the video, the upcoming album. We get into it. So here it is. This is Flaming Wrekage. So Dave, we chatted back in 2021, just after the release of Cathedral of Bones. Yeah. So obviously, you know, the new album's coming out in April. Well, what have you guys been up to in that middle time, other than obviously, you know, writing and recording?
Yeah, there was a lot of that. The writing recording process was it's good. It's like really full on this time. Like, spent a lot of time just getting the songs nailed down and like, yeah, just getting them right. Lots of rewrites, lots of pre-production, that kind of thing. And yeah, we did a few shows in between as well. We did a couple of ripping shows at the start of this year, which was really cool. Played with Catatonia, which is sick.
Yeah, man.
And then we just did a couple of headline shows here and there as well. So yeah, man, we've been busy, but yeah, the main focus has just been getting this album sorted. So yeah, we recorded it it was like February last year, so it's been a little while.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, just been a lot going on, just getting it all right, making sure that the release is like, you know, good to go. So yeah, it's all underway now. It's all going. So yeah, it feels good.
That's cool, man. So last time we spoke, we talked about how Cathedral of Bones came together. Was this a similar process, or did you guys do something different this time, with as far as recording goes? You know.
Well, we recorded with Chris Stamelko again. He's like becoming a 5th member of our band now. It's like
cool.
We have this like awesome understanding, like just his like influence in like the way that the songs come together. Like, we did some pre-production sort of just like remotely with him. Just like we kind of get the songs to about sort of 90% there, and then we'll start doing pre-pro. And I think that's like the most important part, because it just puts you in a position where you get someone else that's like, you're just hearing it from a different perspective to kind of you know, just drive the songs home. You can kind of get stuck in the fishbowl a little bit in those later stages of writing where you just kind of, you've heard the song so many times in demo form and you don't know quite how to finish it. Or so we spent a lot of time doing that and just fine tuning it. And yeah, really, and I think that's become like something that we spend a lot of time on that, because like when we get into the studio, we like to be really creative. Like we like to have the songs pretty locked in so that we can just add heaps of layers and just go wild with like you know, fun stuff in the studio, so that we're not still like there working out like bits and pieces and stuff. It's like the songs are done, we're just adding the bigness and like extra layers and stuff to it. And I think this time around we definitely experimented a lot with that stuff. Like you'll hear some sort of synth and some acoustic guitar and like just like nothing that's like super obvious, but it's just like it just makes it sound bigger. And there's just like, you know, a few little tricks along the way that we kind of use just to get just to get it over the line. And it's just like those little things make a huge difference. I'm stoked that we had the confidence to kind of go forward with that kind of stuff, because yeah, we've never really done that before, but it's made a huge difference, man. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I've only heard what Ghosts and Witch Hunt.
Yep.
Like it sounds like you guys, but it's definitely a bit of a change. Is that something conscious? Are you guys trying to do something different, like with this one?
I don't think, not particularly. It's just like it just comes about organically. I like, it's funny you say like Ghost has like gotten so much amazing feedback, but like that was the song that I thought we were going to cut.
Oh, wow.
Like for ages. Like I just wasn't vibing on it, but I think, you know, and because it was such a simple idea, and I'm like, it's just kind of not really going anywhere. But the other boys kind of convinced me to hang on to it for a bit longer. And that was definitely one where we threw a lot of interesting production ideas at it in the studio, and that's what really made it together, because it's quite a simple song by our standards. Like there's not too much going on, but there's stuff like adding bits of percussion, and it's like a vibra slap and some synth and some acoustic. Like that song's got heaps of different stuff in it, and it's only 3 minutes as well. Like usually we get carried away and end up around the 5-6 minute mark. But yeah, I'm really glad that we hung on to that one, because like it's obviously become a single, and it's like one of the best songs. Like I'm so proud of that song now. So yeah, you gotta, you know, not get too bogged down in what you think about it. It's like other people that can influence that. So yeah, I'm stoked that we hung on to it.
Yeah, that's cool. The Ghost video is pretty amazing as well, playing for the One Cold Chisel fan.
Yeah.
How did that come together? Did you guys have an idea and, you know, talk it out? Like how did the whole kind of narrative of that thing come together?
Yeah, so we had a few different ideas for that one, and much like the album, there was a lot of rewrites and stuff. Like I've been wanting to work with Reese from High Voltage Photography for ages. Like he's shot a few like live sort of clips for us and stuff, but like never a full music video. And that guy's like such a pro. Like we like met up a bunch of times and we just discussed like the possibilities of what we could do. But we wanted to do something that was a bit more relatable than our previous videos. Like I feel like there's a lot of metal videos that's kind of like, you know, bands playing on a cliff face, or you know, there's lots of fire, and it's just like it doesn't really mean anything. It's just like another layer to the song. But we wanted to do something that was like just relatable, and we've played a lot of pretty funny regional shows in our time, and all of our best stories tend to come from those scenarios. So we thought we'd just chuck them all into one video clip, and that's pretty much what we got. Yeah. So, you know, it's like playing to the one guy that is just a complete punisher. I won't leave you alone, but you got to give him the best show that he's ever seen, because he's the only guy there. The bartender doesn't have a barrier and all that stuff, you know. So like, and all the little quotes that he says throughout it, like they were actual quotes that we've heard from hunters at places like the Taps Hotel in Lismore, and you know, places like that. So yeah, we just thought we'd like, you can only laugh at that stuff. Like, so yeah, I'm stoked with how that came out, man. It was like such a fun clip to make. And yeah, it just felt like really freeing to do something that wasn't so serious as well. Because the last couple we've done have just been like super tough metal band plays in like some gnarly looking location. It's just like, let's just do something fun. And yeah, it came out really good, I think.
Yeah, it's cool. I particularly like where he calls his mate Reese and he's at a grave. Like,
yeah, well, that was was a classic bit because that got added like right at the last minute, and Reese was like, "Oh, I don't know who I'm gonna get to do this bit." I was like, "Man, you should just do like a Tarantino moment, just like do it yourself, like have a little cameo." But that was the whole idea with that clip as well. Like we wanted to get a bunch of mates from our, like fellow Sydney bands that we play with all the time. So yeah, like Chapo, the bloke in the chisel shirt, he's like plays guitar. And Mountain was a Death Call. You got Timmy from Astro Death. Like Nano from Black Rhino walks in for 2 seconds and thinks it's the worst thing ever and just leaves immediately. Like, so yeah, we just wanted to get a bunch of mates in and just like get a few cameos happening. And yeah, it was super fun. Awesome day.
That's cool. You mentioned before playing with Catatonia. Did you get a chance to hang out with the guys at all? Like have a bit of a meet or anything?
I said good day to a couple of them, but I was very brief. Like,
sure.
It's often the case with those tours. It's like, they're pretty in and out sort of thing. But yeah, their crew are really nice. Yeah, man, it was a cool experience. Like playing at the Metro is like, I've been to a million shows there, and it was very cool to play on that stage.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Like, it's probably a bit of a diverse like mix. Like, it was Evocatus opened, and they're kind of on the Viking metal side of things, and then there's us, and then Catatonia. So it's a really mixed bill, but it works really well. Like, got a lot of good, like, feedback from people, and there's a lot of people that probably wouldn't have heard of us before. So at those kind of gigs, so yeah, it was a really good experience.
That's cool. I think Catatonia is a good band for that kind of eclectic thing. Like Yomi Ship supported them here, which is like a trio that does this kind of cool jazzy thing. Like maybe Catatonia fans are open to different stuff. It's good. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Last time we spoke, you were saying you've been listening to a fair bit of stoner rock and that kind of thing. Are you still into that? Is that sort of?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Lots of stoner rock. Been listening to lots of Beast Wars lately. Just been sick. We played a few shows in New Zealand at the end of last year. I went to see them in Christchurch. It was so good. But yeah, always on the stoner metal train. But I've been listening. I just before I got on with you, I was just listening to the new Judas Priest album. So good.
It is. It's huge, man. Yeah.
How do they still do it? They're like,
they're
killing it, man. It's so good.
Yeah. Even
I'm always open to listening to new stuff, man.
Yeah, that's cool. Even like the new Bruce Dickinson one, like he's still pumping out. They're both him and Halford.
Yeah.
This massive voices. It's great.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's so good.
Yeah. So you guys got a couple of shows, May 25th in Melbourne, June 8th in Sydney, and the album comes out April. Are we going to hear any more from the album before April? Is there any other singles or anything like that?
Yeah, so we got another single coming out next Friday.
Awesome.
It's called Hell on Earth, and I think that's my favorite track from the album, I'd say. Like, it's a bit longer than the other two we put out. It's a real journey. Like, it's a big jam at the end. It's a massive chorus. It's really dark. It's definitely my favorite one.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to that one, man. Like, that's like you go through a little while of like kind of not like you record the album and you just don't want to listen to it for a little while, but like coming back and listen to that, I'm like, I know that we're onto something good here because that song is like super powerful, at least to me. So I'm looking forward to getting it out into the world. It's very cool, I think. So yeah, and then that's the last one. We kind of did the little trio of singles, and then we got the full album coming out April 26th. So yeah, man, it's been good. Lots of people have been pre-ordering it, which has been amazing. We've got a couple of vinyl variants, and we've only got three blood splatters left, I think. So yeah, plenty of other stuff on the store. We're doing a bunch of bundles and stuff. So yeah, exciting times, man. It's good.
Yeah, that's cool. Links below for people watching. Check it out. Maybe if I get this up quick, we'll be able to get your hands on a blood splatter.
Yeah, I'll get that for sure.
Yeah, cool. Awesome, man. Well, look, Dave, it's cool to talk again, man. And hopefully you'll make your way over to WA again at some point, man. Like, is there any plans of that? I know it's expensive, but
yeah, no, we're thinking about it, man. It is expensive, but we had a ripping show last time we came over, so I think we're gonna have. Yeah, it's just like we want to do as many regional places as we can. Not that like Perth is considered regional, but like it's still a long way from the East Coast. So yeah, we're trying to hit everywhere we can. But yeah, man, we're going to try our best to get over there. Sure.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Well, look, man, looking forward to the new single and the album. And yeah, thanks again, man. Good to chat, Duff. Cheers.
Oh man, thank you. Appreciate it.
Go on. Cheers to Dave and to all the artists that joined us this week on NMR, Nightbreed Metal Radio, the long form March show. So there will be a show in April sometime coming up with more interviews and things like that. All the music in the background that you heard was Rassilon Records releases, so links below for that. And links below for Instagram and all those, other fun, stupid things on the internet where you can keep up with what we are doing here. Thank you very much again. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.